So one question that we get a lot is, how is occupancy defined? So occupancy is defined as someone in the home 183 days or more. That can be occupied by an owner, a renter, a house guest, some combination thereof. The idea is just to have people here participating in our economy and our community on a regular basis. Which is good for everyone. It also means more people enrolling their kids in school here, which we know will boost enrollment and that attendance-based funding. It's also important to know that the occupancy does not need to be consecutive. So it can be occupied for a chunk of the beginning of the year, the middle of the year, part of the end of the year. It does not need to be 183 days in a row by any means. It also does not need to be the whole house. So folks could rent out one room to one person, maybe someone who could keep an eye on things in the winter, make sure pipes don't freeze. There's no requirement that it be the entire home. Another question we get a lot is about short-term leases. So even with Measure T in place, leases can still be done that are 30 days or more. So if someone really loves using their home for a couple months of the summer, or on and off, they could put a renter in for 30, 60, 90 days in the winter to make up that difference and hit that mark. So there's also, we know we get a lot of questions about homes being furnished. There are great websites out there like Furnished Finder that can help find vetted renters for furnished units. So especially folks like travel nurses might come in, or just our seasonal workforce, who would probably be relieved to not have to furnish their own home. You can find them on websites like that and make it streamlined. It's also worth noting that moving folks into seasonal rentals like that frees up other units that can then be used for year-round members of our workforce. So it really does benefit everyone to increase our housing supply like that. And we also wanted to provide some context for what 183 days. So local residents who live in their homes will not pay this tax. So if you wanted to travel for 12 weeks on vacation over the course of the year, yay for you, great PTO, hopefully, that's going to total 281 days still remaining in your home after all that vacation. So well within the threshold. For someone that might want to spend December through April in Arizona, avoid the snow, tired of shoveling, we get it. That's still going to mean they're in their home for 214 days. So again, well over that threshold. We know some people do have to travel for work, maybe commuting outside the area. So if someone spends 3 days of every week on the road for work, they're still in that home 208 days over the year. Again, well over that threshold. So just some perspective if for folks who may be wondering what this means with their travel schedules.
The one thing that was just really important to us that is local residents who live in their homes will not pay any tax at all. And another aspect of that is exemptions. Amelia, would you like to explain that one?
Yeah, for sure. So exemptions, we felt really important. There's members of our community who may need to leave their homes for jobs, especially really essential jobs that we need. Important that we wanted to be sure we're exempt in the policy. So wildland firefighters, we know they work crazy schedules. We know wildfire season is expanding and that their work may take them away from their homes more than 183 days for a year. So they're exempt. Active duty military, also exempt. Other emergency service workers that may need to travel. Similarly, we know that folks may need to be out of their homes or even outside of the area if they're seeking medical treatment or in care facilities. So there's an exemption for that. Also exempt are non-winterized cabins. So these are homes that may lack suitable insulation. Their pipes can't be used, safely in winter months. Those are exempt. Also properties that are under renovation or under construction or have been impacted by disasters or emergencies. Ownership transfers, these are all exempt. There's a whole list in the full measure text. It's also worth noting that more can be added. So there is a process. We as a community feel like there were things missed. Other folks who should be exempt, other properties that should be exempt. There is a process for how those can be added, after the passing of this measure.